Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis 4, where we are going to be continuing with Aragon. So, I hope you have all had an excellent Christmas. It's now Boxing Day here in the UK, which is historically when the employers used to give boxes of goodies to their employees to kind of keep them sweet, and it's just a Christmas tradition, hence the name Boxing Day. Don't think it really happens much anymore, though. So, what has been going on here? I am coming into this completely cold. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins all day, so I'm in a stabby mood rather than a strategy mood. That's not us, is it? No. So we've got a little bit of the Caribbean. We've started down here in Panama. I think we started a bit in Africa. We've got a little bit of the Ivory Coast. And I think we were thinking about sending a colonist... Oh no, we went for this province because we couldn't actually reach down here yet. I remember. And yeah, the Knights are having a fantastic game at the moment. And that's all AI. That's not me. I am not allied to them or anything. Actually, am I allied to them? No. I'm allied to Venice, but not to the Knights. I think, yeah, we're also spreading down here through Egypt, basically trying to take over Aden. And in fact, that is the last thing we did. That's why we still have some armies down here, and I think that they are on the way home. Right, where are my other forces? The other guys are down here. I remember we were going to have problems because we can't get through Aragon, so all of these are effectively isolated. However, we do have our transports down here, don't we? Nope, they're over there, and they're having to sail all the way around here. So if we were going to have an uprising here in Partey, that would cause problems. So let's just go and drop Revel Risk chance there. I'm not really expecting to make a lot of money from that. How does the AI Knights do that? Actually, if I remember correctly, you've been smashing them the whole game. I've been smashing the Ottomans and the Mamluks the whole game, yeah. The Ottomans, not just by me, like the Commonwealth's had it really on for them as well. And because we've been smashing... Oh, and Venice. Venice has done pretty well out of the Ottomans too. Because we've been battering at the Ottomans, the Mamluks have been able to grow. But more recently, I've been after the Mamluks rather than the Ottomans, which is allowing Morocco to grow. And because there's no Castile, Morocco has had a fairly decent game so far. Portugal is the only other true colonial power, I would say. They've gone for a bit of Portuguese Mexico. They did really well in the Caribbean, but we just about secured enough provinces to get 10 cities. There's a bit of Castile down here. Portugal in Rio de Prata. Yeah, Castile just haven't had the funds and the resources to do very much. And then Britain's just started in Canada and... Labrador. No. What is that bit? Halifax. Nova Scotia. That's Nova Scotia. And speaking of actual Nova Scotia, Scotland is down here in Guyana. Although I think they're probably based out of Shetland at this point. I have a feeling that's probably going to be their capital, isn't it? Where is your capital? Nope. Cayenne is in fact their capital, so we could actually see a big Scotland over here, because this is all going to be home territory now. So, we shall see, we shall see. I'm still allied to the French. I'm still very hostile to Austria. I'm allied to Venice. Naples is still a minion, as is Ferrara, and we've been beating up on the Pope a bit as well. Though the Pope right now is allied to France. Bohemia and Montferrat. We're allied to Bohemia. Right. The League War kicked off and the Catholics won. In fact, the Catholics just outright ruffle-stomped everyone. And Bohemia is currently the Emperor. Although that does actually mean later on in the game we're going to be politically isolated because Iberia has gone Protestant, Britain has gone Anglican, and everything else is effectively going to be Catholic. I was hoping that we'd be able to convert France to the Protestant side, but unfortunately we haven't been able to do so. I thought there were at least technically 12 days of Christmas. 25th through January 5th. At least January 6th is the day we're supposed to throw out the Christmas tree here in Norway. I think it is something like that, but I don't know exactly how or why. Ooh, Ice Mage. Yeah, I hope your kid's okay. The Catholics may have won the battle, but will win the war. Well, my ultimate goal is to also take over the whole of Italy. So Italy and Iberia will be Protestant, Britain will be Anglican, then France and Germany, and the Commonwealth will be Catholic, and probably the Balkans. The only Catholic holdout is going to be Venice. So we will need to do something about Venice at some point, but right now it actually kind of benefits us having them around. Do you have... Where are your merchants, actually, Venice? Obviously you've got one here. So as long as we keep Venice out of this area, they'll actually be giving us a humongous goods produced bonus. Yeah, they're currently giving us a 40% goods produced in all of the provinces that are in the Venetian node. So like the wine that we're producing here is going to have quite a good production outcome. Massive amounts of trade value, crikey. And that Anconan paper is going to be super valuable. I was kind of hoping you would have a merchant in Genoa, but I doubt you will. You probably do have one in Ragusa, although there is a bit of a trade competition between us, and I'm currently winning that one. But they will be increasing all the trade in Ragusa as well. They have one in Constantinople, where they are also boosting it. In fact, the Knights have the greatest chunk of that. They are in Aleppo. They are in Alexandria. Oh. With 10%. So we're going to be getting a 5% goods produced throughout the whole of Alexandria, which is going to be good, because we do actually have a couple of big production centres down here, like the spices from Alexandria. So having a merchant republic nearby isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just need to try and mitigate where they can actually trade and draw the trade towards you rather than them. So what we might actually want to do eventually is let them get a province like Genoa and then just leave them in Genoa. No other territories. Because then they'll have a small percentage of the trade in Genoa. They'll be pulling all of the trade towards Genoa themselves, so they'll be assisting us in that. And because we'll just be, frankly, so much bigger, we should still draw in all the trade ourselves. Overextension is high. Right, we can't actually core those yet because they're outside of coring range, but we will be able to do so sooner rather than later. Okay, cool. Let's just go ahead and unpause. We'll let the armies move around and do their things. Navy has gone back to repair. That's fine. We could do trade company investments. Do we have any loans? Nope. Good. I do have a question. Which is the stronger religion need for Protestant Reformed and why? I wouldn't say there's a stronger religion. They just have things that they are better at in different circumstances. Like if you want to focus only on war, or only on trade, or only on stability, then Reformed is really strong. If you want to be a little bit more flexible, then Protestant is the better one. Like the bonuses that Reformed get are much stronger individually for those three categories, but that's all the bonuses you're going to get. While Protestant, the bonuses aren't particularly big, but there are a lot of different ones that you can choose from. So like the Reformed bonus to morale is plus 10%. We only get plus 5%, but we can also pick two other categories. As Reformed, it is probably possible to run all three at once, though that will be a limited time. You can basically have one fervor thing going constantly, always. You could probably have two with high religious unity in your country, and then three temporarily. But yeah, Reformed is really strong for trade. You get plus 10% trade efficiency, which is pretty sweet. Are there any other bonuses? I suspect there are. Let me just double check exactly what the bonuses are. Yeah, so in trade you've got plus 10% global trade power and plus 10% trade efficiency. If you've got the war fervor, then you've got plus 10% morale of armies and plus 10% morale of navies. And if you're in stability, you get -2 national unrest and +1 diplo rep. Who's number 1 in the world? I am, Mike. I am. Although Ming could overtake us again if they get the tech penalties dealt with. You guys merge. Okay, so all 3 of our stacks are now merged together. Now we're just waiting for the transport fleets to return. And we've become a fierce negotiator. So we have a truce with Aragon, right? Yeah. For another 11 years. And with Yemen for another 10. Ethiopia, though I think we basically decided we didn't need a war with Ethiopia in the end. Trade. Yeah, see, Ethiopia doesn't have any trade, centers of trade which are useful to us. The other thing that we could... Oh no, we need to wait until they're cored, never mind. I was going to say we could start upgrading some of the centers of trade down there, but we do need to wait until they're cored. Benghazi's level 2, right? Yes. That still belongs to Kaffa. Those are being cored. Okay. Can we go after Kaffa? We could go after Kaffa. They're only allied to Malindi. Oh, and there's Malindi. Oh. That's interesting. That would allow us to go after Zanzibar. And a certain familiar island down here. Although that's not actually Malindi. And at that point, we wouldn't need to colonize next to Zambezi, because we'll just go down Malindi. We'll start colonizing this back area where we know it's really valuable. And if we can get a border with Moravi, then we can go after all of the gold and the ivory, which is over here. Am I going to try Beyond Typhus? No plans to at the moment. There are so many other games I want to do of EU4 first, just in vanilla, let alone mods. I would like to try Mayo and Taxes at some point. Actually, that's one thing I did mean to double check, is to see what their new update was all about. That's gone. That's not what I was looking for. I want to know what they've done with the government reforms, if anything. .51, is that the newest? Must be. Yes, it is. Yeah, they've not done anything with the government reforms at all. Okay. Can you have more than one flagship? You can capture flagships, but you don't actually get any of their abilities. So, no. You can only have one. I don't actually know what happens if you have no flagships and you capture one. Do you get their flagship's abilities? Or is it still turned off so that you can build your own? I'm not sure. Mara have dared insult us? How dare they? Transports are almost here. Not far away now. So we should probably make sure that we have a CB on Kaffa, right? Because right now we don't have one. And Malindi, are you allied with anyone useful? No, you are just allied to Kaffa, so they I can co-belligerize. And then we can go after Zanzibar. And if we control both Aden and Zanzibar, then we may as well start pushing trade via the Ivory Coast. We don't actually need to go through Alexandria anymore. Not played EU4 much lately. I really enjoyed playing Stellaris since 2.2 in the recent DLC. And CK2 Holy Fury. Yeah, Holy Fury's been amazing. Golden Century was okay. The main thing about Golden Century was not Iberia, it's the pirates. If you want to play as pirates, then EU4 is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing what quality of life stuff they add next year. Because they've announced that they're going to be focusing just on the quality of life stuff for the next dev cycle. At least. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. Alright, so we have arrived. So let's grab you, put you in a ship, send you over here. Oops. Why did you not sail? That's because that's Yemen, not me. That makes sense then. Manufactories are being done. Isn't the next institution like global trade or something silly? Yep. In 5 years' time. So we need to make sure that Genoa is the wealthiest centre of trade. I'm fairly sure that it will be. And nearest competition, weirdly enough, is actually Lubeck. With 32. We're at 67, so that's not really competition. 15, 10, 15... Yeah, I'm feeling relatively confident about this. 23 in Beijing. Yeah, we've got this. I feel like them saying they're focusing on quality of life more so they don't push content that could overshadow Imperator coming out in early 2019. I personally doubt that Imperator will be 2019. I mean, I'm not one of the lucky sods who got to see it. I did grab as much gameplay footage from Quill and Enter Elysium and everyone else that was there to try and like get a grasp on how it was. It's looking complete, but from what Quill was saying, it needs more time. So I doubt that they'll do 2019. Sorry, early 2019. I suspect probably mid. Maybe a summer release. Native Uprising, oh dear. Did we beat them? They're there, so no. Is this a built colony? That's actually a built colony. Why am I garrisoning that? I should not be garrisoning you. We're about to lose this. I didn't think we'd started building this. Okay, I'm an idiot. Noted. And Kuna is the other one we're doing right now. And then that's going to be 3. So we need 2 more before this becomes a colonial nation. It is also January, so let's tech up. Tech, tech, tech. Now do mills, more trade, and artillery is now very much worthwhile. We've reached that level. Chambered demi-cannon is when artillery really starts to come of its own as a field gun as opposed to just an siege gun. So, what? Yeah, we've already got 10 in the back line. Perfect. What actually is the back line currently? So if we wanted to be absolutely optimal, we would probably want 15 guns in the back line. So at the moment the combat width is 30, which means you can always have 30 units. So absolutely optimal would be to have 30 artillery, no more, no less. So that way you've got your entire back line covered with artillery and then the front line to your infantry and your cavalry. But usually you don't fight these massive battles, so generally the rule I do is half of your combat width should be 1 stack. So that way you can merge 2 stacks and then boom, you've got a full back line. So we probably could do with going up to 15, but I think 10's decent. We'll at least have 2/3 backline coverage, which is fine. I was guessing March 15th to hit the Ides of March, like how Hearts of Iron 4 was June 6th for D-Day. Possible. I do like your thinking there, and that is the kind of gimmick that Paradox does like to throw. Right, so Kafar, have we? No. I think I'm going to sit here and drill for a bit more. Although we should also probably be getting a spy network against Malindi. Well, no, actually we don't need to. Malindi would be wasted. No, it wouldn't, because we can still siege their stuff. Just get a spy network against Malindi. Colony was damaged. Colony was wiped out. Bugger. Do we send you again? That is Zanzibar, and we're about to get a bunch of trade zones in Zanzibar. Just out of interest, if we're going from Gujarat, which can either go Aden or south. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we'll get quite a lot more trade steering modifier if we go around Africa. Not as much as you could if we were, say, in the English Channel. Because that way we can go all the way out to America and then back again. Although we could actually do that. We could go out to Caribbean from Ivory Coast to add another step, and then to Sevilla, to Genoa, if we control enough of the Caribbean to make that worthwhile. Although, actually with Portugal pushing the money out, it's all going that way anyway. Interesting. Although colonial nations do tend to steal quite a lot of money if you steer it through them. We're about to get another colony done. So, yeah, my question was whether we wanted to colonize this. I'm going to say yes. And Minority and Granada have been shipped off. Let's continue that going then, I guess. Ooh, Castile's here. And Castile took the centre of trade. Those sods. Hadn't even realised that was a centre of trade. Why is that in the Mexico node? That feels like a bit of an oversight. That should be Panama. Andalusian minority, we can get a +2. Catalan, get a +4. Egyptian +6. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to send the Egyptians. Who are my rivals? Commonwealth, Mamelukes, and... No, sorry, those are my enemies. Mamelukes, Austria, and Burgundy. So Burgundy hasn't rivaled us, but I have rivaled them. And I'm pretty sure that there will be some certain rivals between us. Tensions. Do I need more trade? I don't think I do. Churches. There are 3 which are probably worth building. There are 2 workshops which are definitely worth building. And 1 manufactory, so we'll stick with that for now. Rebels? None anytime soon. The Donkajonks died. Oh no! He's bringing a new general. We know what that means. That means the agony of not having a rename button. This is for arrow, which is 5. Oh wow, and I've completely missed you out, so we're going to go solution for the juice. I'm just going to put your juice. In fact, no, I'm not, because that's horribly racist. I've just realised what that's actually saying. Yeah, we're not going to... I'm not going to give you a name. In that case... That guy from California. I'm just going to call you California because I can't be bothered to type it all out. Hey, Midgeman! Thanks very much for the raid. How are you guys doing? How was Middle-earth? I hope you've left it in a non-burning state. So how good are my generals at the moment? We do have 66 combat ability. Oh no, not combat ability, military tradition. And we could have between 6 and 14 pips. That was a 6, 7, 8. No. 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. That wasn't actually too bad. Fine, I'll keep you around. And drill. Good stuff. Hey, Unsung. Profiteering in Cuenca. The citizens of Cuenca have grown tired of the local influence of the greedy Moroccan merchants that they claim are using unfair advantages. If I knew where this was, I would do something about it. There it is. Cloth. Cloth is definitely a production place. You are not a centre of trade. So I would very much like plus 25% goods produced. Thank you very much. Will I take Jerusalem? No real plan to. I want to get to India. Hey, Christian Leon. Meets in the calendar. Hope to see some of you. Hopes to see some of you there if you can make it. Well, I'll be there. Yeah, Kelnon. Sometimes you got to be really careful with the names. Like they try to slip them through. Was huge fun with the game at double speed. Yeah, the constant battle animations I think would get tedious real quick. And you're currently sitting off the coast of Africa waiting for the damn settler to arrive, which is not going to be for another 200 days, so you may as well just go and hang out up there. I'm going to be able to reach Hull Harvey soon, actually. So what I might actually do is once we have a colonist here, I'm just going to withdraw him. Not abandon it, just withdraw the colonist. And send him to Hull Harvey, and then hopefully we can get to Indonesia that way. The Pope and Castile are now rivals. This is such a weird timeline. The Iberians are the least Catholic. Castile went Reformed. Portugal went Reformed. I went Protestant. And Germany is slowly but surely turning back to Catholicism, as the Catholics won the League War, which had absolutely nothing to do with me. No sirree. I joined the wrong side. Well, I didn't join the wrong side. I just didn't want the Protestants winning. It was political rather than religious concerns. Grant export licenses. When the Crown could not or would not pay cash to the nobles, they would instead grant them privileges to collect special revenues from which they could make a healthy profit. So Naples' opinion of me goes up, I lose 10 legitimacy, I gain more taxes. The Burkers lose loyalty, the nobility does not. No, I actually want the Burkers to have more loyalty, because the nobility can take the hit, the Burkers can't. Now the Burkers are giving me the trade efficiency income, and I'm going to be raking in the cash. Marvellous. Let's get Hylap done. Can I start coring the other provinces yet? No, not yet. Did I join the League War? Oh yes, I joined the Catholic side.